Welcome into Real Talk Wrestling. I'm your host Josh. With me, why do you look like that? Why are you? Why do you
What
look
are you
like
talking
that?
about? Why do I look like
um,
what?
I don't know, and I don't know where our names went. Honestly, this is a mess today. But I will let you know. My name is Josh Kimmel. It's not displayed right now, and this is El Ginger, El Grande. What's your name?
El Ginger Americano.
I don't know why I can't say that name so easily off the top of my head. But yes, we are here tonight without Clutch. He is taking a couple weeks off. He did announce that to me. Announce it. He did tell me after the show that he may not be here due to family reasons, which is totally awesome. So it's just us two right now. The boss man's watching right now. What's going on, Bobby? And speaking of Bobby Melendez, by the way, we us no holds barred here on Saturday evening 5 p.m. Eastern for Pacific. We will be or Pacific, oh my goodness, Central. We'll be breaking down WCW 1998 Halloween Havoc, the greatest pay-per-view in the history of all pay-per-views. So I cannot wait to speak about that. That's where we had Sting versus Bret Hart, Hogan versus the Warrior, DDP versus Goldberg, and of course everyone remembers, at least I do, the pay-per-view went out. They showed DDP and Goldberg live on Nitro the next night, pre-taped or taped, because the pay-per-view went out. I remember watching that as a child going, what happened? I had the VHS tape where it did go out. Me, Sam, my brother Sam, and Chris,
Mhm.
we reenacted all those matches. That was our favorite pay-per-view ever. So I can't wait to talk about that show with a special guest from Fantasy Now Plus. Yes, we cannot wait. So Chris, how have you been?
Surviving, man. It's been a crazy couple weeks for myself, but I'm
Really?
here. It's good to be back and talking some wrestling.
Yes, we have some big things on the menu tonight. We're going to talk about Sami Zayn and a possible heel turn, if that's the right move. We're going to talk a little bit about the backlash results. I am still the pay-per-view champion, PLE champion. Clutch, I challenge as the baby face of the show. I said, Clutch, do you want a shot at my title? It's no three-way dance here. It's just me and you one-on-one. Chris isn't here. He doesn't get to participate. Clutch backed down. He didn't
Really?
want any of this. Yeah, he backed off. So I'm still the champ coming out of Backlash. Didn't defend the title. Decided, I don't need to defend my title every single time, right? I just don't. So we'll save that for another day. I'm
You,
your longest reigning defending champion of
you were
this
just
show.
you're basically the Cody. You didn't defend it backlash, and your followers are the Cody crybabies.
No. I'm definitely not Cody. Like, if I was a wrestler, like if you describe me as a wrestler, probably, most likely, yeah, I'm Cody. I'm a crybaby. Oh, because we're all messy kings, baby. No, gosh, don't ever do that to me again. So, Backlash, Chris, did you enjoy this PLE? I know it's been a couple weeks, but I have not spoken with Chris. And if you don't like that, I got 2 words for you. Leave a like. That's 3, by the way. Leave a like and subscribe, because we're going to talk a little bit about Backlash, because I need to get his perspective on the show. I thought it was a great show. I had fun. I had a blast. Every match mattered. And I didn't watch it that night. I watched it the day after in the morning. So I was more awake, more cognizant. Great way to start my Sunday morning. How was it for you?
I watched it. I watched the first 4 matches. I watched everything but the main event live. The main event were old. It was getting kind of late. And I was like, I want to be able to pay attention to this match because I know it will be good. So I said, I'm going to save that for the morning, which I'm glad I did. Overall, I thought the pay per view was all right, but it is what it is. It's backlash. It's hard, kind of hard to be that one that comes on right after WrestleMania and how big of a show that is. Um, you said you thought every match mattered. I kind of thought the otherwise. I was like, I don't know if some of these are these all pay-per-view matches or PLE matches. I didn't feel the same. What was it about them that made them feel like they were
Oh,
deserving of PLE matches?
well, Becky, I went into this match going, man, I'm gonna hate this match because I'm not into Becky Lynch. It turned out to be my favorite match of the night, and it mattered because now Lyra's getting over. She's actually, fans are caring about her. She would come out and we would do the woo. Well, not we. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole would be the only one in the arena doing the woo, and
Yeah.
and nobody cared. There'd be crickets. So she's getting a little bit more love. So that match mattered for that reason. Okay, there's that. John Cena, Randy Orton. I don't need to tell you why that mattered.
That
It
one did. Yeah.
The Fatal 4-Way match that mattered big time to get Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre's story over more than what it already is. They needed some work. That got over with the crowd. They loved the spot with the table, although Drew did get hurt there. And that got over that storyline with Jacob Fatu and the debut of who you should know who this person is, AEW Mark over here, Jeff Cobb. That was a huge moment for that story. So that mattered. Like that really did matter because that forwarded the bloodline or whatever they are now, that forwarded that story. So that match mattered, Chris. Do I need to go on? Do I need to tell you everything? Because literally everything mattered.
There's two more, specifically one, and I really want you to sell me on why that match mattered.
Okay, well, we'll go to Dominic Mysterio and Penta. They're having a big AAA show. They're going to do a little collab show. This is obviously setting up for a Lucha Bros. They're going to tag team in AAA versus, the Judgment Day. So that's why that mattered. It's setting that up. That's why El Grande Americano got involved. I truly believe it's going to be Dominic Mysterio and El Grande versus the Lucha Bros. I've heard rumors that it's actually going to be a triple threat match with Finn Balor joining the Judgment Day, of course, and then Vikingo being the third member since Vikingo got involved in their WrestleMania match. So that's rumors been sitting out there too. So that match mattered. Okay, so I'm 4 for 4. I'm 4 for 4.
Tell me why match 5 matters. Why it was a PLE worthy match.
Okay, this one's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to explain. So I really, I can't, Chris. It was just it was better than what we thought.
Yeah, it was fine.
It worked out. There was no Goldberg, which was awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, could we have had this on Raw?
No, it wouldn't have gotten over. No, it wouldn't have got over on Raw. It didn't make.
Do we need this match?
I don't know.
Are you intrigued by the storyline of the commentators getting involved?
I'm more intrigued on why Gunther cares so much. That's what, and how does it go from here? Because they had their match. Gunther kind of turned babyface at the end and gave the guy respect. And that was that. I'm like, what was that? Like, so that was kind of confusing. All right. But not every match on the card could be a 5-star banger then. Right. So
I know it's not AEW.
One of them, it's not AEW. It's not all in material. All right. So yes, Backlash was Backlash. And now we're where we're at now where
as I say, it was fine. It was a serviceable PLE. I'm glad I'm glad they didn't try and overkill it though and put like 10 matches just because it's a PLE. So I appreciated the fact that it was only 5 matches.
Yeah, that's the way it always is lately, and it's awesome that way.
Yeah.
I turned on Raw today because guess what, guys? I didn't watch Raw Monday. I didn't watch it Tuesday. I didn't watch it Wednesday. I watched it today. Less than 2 hours. I don't know if it was live less than 2 hours, but the tape show on Netflix is 1 hour and 52 minutes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let me just tell you, I like watching it on Netflix on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So much better than watching it live. To cut out all the extra commercials and everything, and to be able to, I noticed so if you watch Monday, you gotta sit through all the commercials. If you do it Tuesday, you can fast forward, but I never get the little thumbnail there to show me where I'm at.
Yep.
You have to wait till like Wednesday. On Wednesday, they roll out the thumbnail, and then that works from there. So I like to watch a lot of it on Wednesdays.
That was my biggest complaint to you guys. I remember the very first day or second week of Netflix when I didn't watch it live. I was like, guys, I can't fast forward it. I don't know where I'm at. Like that was the biggest pet peeve of my Netflix experience the first time I ever watched it. But I watch it live. When I watch it live, as we spoke, I'm Mr. Moneybags over here. I don't have commercials. I see the entrances. I see everything. I got the money bags over here, buddy. I'm not over here sitting with the commercial version. The whole point of streaming is to get rid of the commercials, to watch anything you want. Yep. Now people are leaving streaming because there's too many ads and the prices are crazy. Guess what, guys? Cable's cheaper. Sorry, you guys fucked up. Sorry, Bobby, but you did. Cable's just way cheaper and better. So, and Spectrum is throwing it. I got Peacock for free with my membership. I got Disney Plus free with my cable, dude. That's how they're they're coming back. I'm telling you, all these cable cutters will be back to my side. And guess what? I'm an OG, baby. I never left you, cable. I've had my box forever. Ride or die. But seriously, I do believe the future is to join Verizon or to join Frontier. We'll add in Max. I guarantee it, Chris. Spectrum's already doing it.
No,
Anyway.
I'm good with my streaming setup the way I've got it.
Well, I'm just telling you, I pay for cable and I was able to cancel Peacock and Disney Plus and I still have them. So it is what it is. Yes. Speaking of Raw, streaming, Netflix, we had a show on Monday. That was a very decent show. CM Punk returned after being gone since WrestleMania. He said he was disappointed in himself and he shouldn't have trusted Paul and yada, 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 all this nonsense. Paul came out like he was going to do something. He was going to fight him. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. And of course, we get to see the Seth Rollins music, and then him and Bron Breakker come out, and chaos ensues. How did you feel about this promo? Obviously, awesome CM Punk promo, but how do you feel about the story going into, I guess, the next PLE or Saturday Night Main Event?
I like it. You know, with Paul Heyman, I'm glad that they made the move that they did because Paul Heyman with Punk has been done before. The Roman thing, that's run its course. I'm glad they didn't try and keep pushing it any further. I think it's Seth's time to shine again and kind of be the focal point for a while. And I think he's got like a kind of a similar personality to Paul Heyman. Like their wrestling personalities is like that real like slimy personality heel. Roman was the tough heel, but Seth is real slimy with his laugh and everything. And Paul Heyman, he's doing all these things, but he'll hide behind everybody else. And I love this for Bron Breakker because, like, just watching him, I wasn't sure at first whenever he was kind of being pushed in NXT. I'm like, is this just a Vince thing? Is it going to be, you know, the next Austin Theory where it wasn't working, but he was pushing it too hard? And, you know, I kind of said, let me give him a fair shot here. Let me see. And he was growing on me. And that's why when we were picking for WrestleMania, that's part of why I had him pick to lose, because I'm like, I feel like he's ready to step up to the main event. I feel like this is a really good spot for him. I like their little faction that they got going on. I like the story. Like I'm interested. If they're on TV, I'm watching for sure.
Yes, it's a great storyline, and that begs the question: is we've all been asking since the inception, or since Bron Breakker showed up early, is who is the third wrestler, or who is the fourth member of this faction? And that's been discussed ad nauseum. There was awesome theories. There's this guy or that guy. I brought up Kaiser, which clearly isn't happening because Kaiser's interview got interrupted by Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker and that whole storyline. So it's not going to be Kaiser. Some people are saying it's Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn may join the side of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker. So that's why I'm glad you're here today, because you're the biggest Sami Zayn mark of all time. How would you feel if this guy turned heel? Because listen, we had Becky turn heel. We had Naomi turn heel. There's been so many heel turns in the past couple months. Do we really need another one? And how many baby faces do we have? So yeah. I'm going to ask you, how would you feel? Sami Zayn actually did turn heel, turned on CM Punk, because they kind of talked about it. CM Punk can't trust anybody. That's going to be the story going into the tag team match. How would you feel if CM Punk was the other member?
CM Punk? You mean Sami?
No, Sami Zayn. Sorry, Sami
Zayn. Well, being that I'm a big Sami fan, I don't think I would like that, just in the sense of I could already see what his role in the group would be. He would be the guy that's taking all the pins in the group. He would be the one that's losing. He would be at the bottom of the totem pole because they're not going to let Seth be, he's not going to be the one to lose. Bron Breakker, they're really building him up. He's not going to lose. So Sami, he would be the guy that they're adding to the group. So when they go into these faction wars with people, he can be the one to take the loss whenever they need one. So I don't want to see him take that spot. I don't want him to be the third.
I'm glad you said that. I am so glad you said that, because that's what people are missing. People are saying Sami Zayn or this person or Austin. Everyone you're saying you want to succeed, right? And maybe they'll get a boost because they're in this big group. But they are going to add the guy. They're going to add the Wheeler Yuta. They're going to add the guy who needs to take the pin, the guy who needs to get punched first. You know how they always do that? Everyone attacks one, like, there's 4 of them, but one guy gets in, punch. One guy gets in, punch. He's going to be the first one to get beat up. So I'm glad that you said that, because no one else is saying this. It's like, do you really want your top baby face, the one that everyone cheers for, the one that everyone wants to succeed? We all want him to be a world champion.
Yeah.
We don't need this heel turn. It's not going to happen. I think it's a massive mistake if this happens. I think Kevin Owens would have been a great spot if he didn't get injured to be the third guy. That would have been great. I think Drew McIntyre fits this group, but he's got stuff going on with Damian Priest. I think there is going to be a third wrestler eventually. Just don't know who yet. And that's the wonderful thing. Triple H could do anything he wants, and we'd all eat it up because it would all work out.
Yeah. So. And they got time to add a third. I don't think they need to necessarily add somebody right now. We could be looking months down the road before they add anybody. It's like this group still feels new and fresh. I feel like you add that third person when like things are getting a little stale and you kind of need to rejuvenate a little bit, or like the luster is worn off a little bit. That's when you bring in another person. No, I wouldn't do it yet.
I think they would. I guess I get your point there. But Bobby says Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed left feuding with Seth, trying to kill Seth. I don't know if that would make sense. And plus, we already have a monster. I've been saying this. Everyone wants Bronson Reed. I get it. I like Bronson. I love Bronson Reed. But we already have the monster. So Bron Breakker would not be the monster anymore. He would just be the little monster. Have you seen that movie, Little Monsters?
No.
You never seen that movie where they're under the bed and that kid? Okay. Well, Bobby's probably seen it. Little Monsters. I try to watch it with Finley. Not kid friendly. not
that was a big mistake.
All. Yeah, he's terrified. So, cool. But yes, Bronson Reed. I can't wait for his return. I really, really can't. So, but yeah, that's where we're at with the CM Punk, Sami Zayn situation. I do want to shift over to someone that we know well, not well. Someone that you know well, because you're such a huge AEW mark. You have this T-shirt on. Did you when Jeff Cobb debuted? Were you like the Leo meme where he's like, I know that guy. AEW, that's the guy from AEW when Forbidden Door comes around. Did you know right away? Or were you like, who is this guy? I knew when they said his name. I totally forgot what Jeff Cobb looked like. I can't stand Jeff Cobb. Just want to put it out there. I think his work sucked in AEW. I thought his work sucked in any kind of Forbidden Door. I thought he was the most boring thing ever. Jeff Cobb sucked. Oh. But I'm open to see what they did or what they're going to do with him. I'm really open to see what they're doing with him. I don't have high expectations. I never thought anything of Jeff Cobb. How about you? Could have been Ishii. I'd rather have him, by the way.
Well, I knew who it was. Jeff Cobb, he always reminds me of, like, at a quick glance, I'm not saying they're twins, but at a quick glance, he always reminds me of Rhino.
Stop.
I think it's just because he's got like that big, like, puffy build,
because they're short midget fat guys.
They're not fat though. They're like
Jeff Cobb is pretty big, dude.
You look like you could go up to him with a pin and like you would just pop, And Rhino was that way towards the end of his career, I think.
Yes.
So I know who Jeff Cobb is when I see him for sure. He was one of those guys in AEW. I mean, clearly you did not like him.
No.
For me, I could take him or leave him. He just didn't move the needle for me either way. It didn't bother me when he was on screen, but it wasn't must-see TV for me either. Because he was one of those guys that Tony loved to have, but he would show up, like you said, once every 3 months or 6 months, and it was hard to care about him. So let's see what they do with them, in that group. Maybe they find the right spot for him. He doesn't need to be his own person. He could just be a part of that group, and maybe they can build him up a little bit. I don't see that he's going to be like, a top guy or anything, but I think he could maybe fit in with that group somewhere. And yes, I did say Rhino.
Well, Chris, they brought in Jeff Cobb in AEW for one reason and one reason only. MJF. I got this assassin, Jeff Cobb, and he's going to beat. Remember this? Remember? Jeff Cobb was like an assassin and fought like Chris Jericho or somebody or whoever it was. And we're like, they hyped him up. oh, I got an assassin coming next week, and it was Jeff Cobb, and we're like, who's Jeff Cobb? And then like 4 months later, I went down the road. Oh, I got an assassin. He's gonna kill you. And then we have to wait till next week, and it's Jeff Cobb again. You're like, that guy lost in 15. Like that guy sucks. He lost. Can't tell me he's an assassin. And then 4 months later, we got an assassin coming in. It's like, okay, guys, he's never won. He's literally never won. He's never ever even attempted to win. I don't think he's even got a close 2 count. Like he's just. I don't think he ever was.
Can we see? Can we see his record?
I guess we could if we go to Tony Khan's favorite website, cagematch.net or whatever it is. Cagematch.net. Are you going to look it up? I'll look it up.
You could probably look it up quicker than I can.
Jeff Cobb. Are you surprised they kept his name?
No.
I am. I'm surprised. They changed Ricky Saints. You know what? That also bugs me, by the way. Ricky Saints. I'm going to stop myself. Ricky Saints is down in developmental still. But that's okay with me. Because you know what? I just thought about in my head. They're developing him. They feel like a certain way about it. I think Jeff Cobb is going to bring him in. You're part of this story. Boom, boom. Future endeavor. You're out of here. Like, there's no future with this guy in this company. Maybe I'm wrong.
But Ricky, yeah, I could see they want to like, hey, we can see that you're going to be a big star, so we're gonna give you some time down here, and that's not a testament against you. That's just we've got big plans for you, so we're gonna get you set up down here.
Yeah. So I'm trying to look at his last. He wrestled obviously New Japan Pro Wrestling. His last AEW match was actually May 1st, 2025. Huh? Oh, it was a triple. It was okay. Never mind. It was a tag team match. Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan, the United Empire. They were in a 3-way match against Naito and Takahashi, which you know who those people are because we know, and then Matthew Jackson and Nicholas Jackson for the IWGP tag team titles. Cool. Oh, that was a Tokyo Dome. Oh, that was I'm so stupid. All right. Yeah, I haven't seen an AEW match in a long time, Chris. But I guess he was important over there. Maybe that's why The Rock was wearing that New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt. Yeah. Oh, May 15th, 2024. He wrestled Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher versus the BCC. He lost. So, yeah, he was there in May and he was back in this May. So, once a year. He's a once-a-year kind of guy in AEW.
That's it. Once, maybe twice. Some of them just maybe appearances.
Yep. What's going on? What's going on, Justin? We're talking Jeff Cobb, the exciting assassin, the 5'2" assassin, Jeff Cobb. I'm sure
Justin is a big Jeff Cobb guy, right?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't know if anyone is, but I'll tell you this. I'm sorry. I'm hoping Jeff Cobb works out, and I hope the story does get interesting because I don't see. I look at Solo Sikoa. This whole thing is going to circle back to Solo Sikoa. Our conversation, at least, I don't see him as a main event player. I'm kind of bored with him. I think what I'm saying about Jeff Cobb, there's an expiration date. I believe Solo had an expiration date, and his expiration date was when the bloodline ended.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now because I feel like he was like a stock where he was high because he came in as an enforcer. He got the main role as a bloodline leader. Then his stock plummeted. And then he rose up a little bit because his promo skills got better. And then Jacob Fatu debuted. And then he plummeted again. And now he hasn't even inched back up a second. So I don't know what we're doing here with and I feel like Jeff Cobb's gonna have the same expiration date once the story's over.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. That's it. So yeah, there's that storyline. Other storylines I want to talk about, but I want to get into this. Did you hear the news? Seriously, this is a serious news. Sabu has passed away. Yep. Big, obviously, in our time growing up. Now, I do want to say that ECW was not on my television or around me all the time. That was more of I'm up. It happens to be on cable TV at this point while I'm up. Because remember, we didn't have a DVR. We couldn't just set YouTube TV to record all the ECW shows. I had a cable box in my room when I was a child, when I was a teenager or middle schooler, but I didn't have like access to go like, ooh, this show's going to be on. No, I'm just flipping channels. Like literally, there was no guide. My box wasn't that was just channel up or channel down. So
Do
I would just
you ever find yourself struggling to explain to your kids how TV used to work like that? About
all
how,
the
like,
time.
you had to be sitting there at that time.
Yeah,
You know,
I would.
I could still kind of explain it because of sporting events. You have to be there when it's going. But yeah, it's always a challenge to explain like that. You couldn't just, hey, I want to watch the show and just binge 20 episodes.
No. Well, yeah, I tell that to Alea almost every. Oh, I gotta wait a whole week for the Rookie to come on. That's one of her favorite shows on ABC. I'm like, when
Yeah.
we know we gotta wait a whole week. That's what we always have to do. I said when Jon Snow died in Game of Thrones, we had to wait a whole goddamn 2 years. We talking about waiting a week. So yeah, it's hard to explain to these kids. Instant gratification, and that's why our society's messed up. But let's get back to professional wrestling.
Sorry, side rant there from us.
ECW, like you said, it was when I caught it. If it was on, I would watch. And then I would be mesmerized by, all the talent there and the women and I was 13, 12 years old, and you see these girls and
Mhm.
nothing. And you're like, oh, I got to watch more ECW. Where can I find ECW? But it was watching WCW weekly for me because I knew where to find it. 8 o'clock, TNT, easy, right? ECW was hard to find for me. So when I did get to watch it, I appreciated it. And Sabu obviously caught everyone's attention. Sabu was a master at his craft. He was great to watch. It was fun to watch. Sabu just wrestled in AEW, 2, 3 years ago? Remember that?
Yeah.
Sabu was a beast, huge inspiration. Were you a big ECW guy? Did you have even access to watch this?
I didn't have a lot of access because I split time between my two parents' house. My mom had cable TV at her house, but we only had one cable box and it was in the living room, and there was five of us splitting time on there. And then at my dad's house, he never, to this day, has still never bought cable TV. So I couldn't watch it when I was over there. So my opportunity to watch it was very slim. But if I did watch it, if I'm channel surfing, TV's mine over at my mom's house, and it was on, I would definitely stop and watch it. But like you said, you didn't really know when it was on. It wasn't like today where you knew exactly where to find things. Couldn't Google search and just tell it where to find what was on at what time or what platform or whatever. Like that didn't exist. So finding it was always the challenge. But if I did find it, I would definitely stop and watch because it was interesting.
It was very interesting. It kind of reminds me of about 10 to 15 years ago when Kenny Omega was rising and we were like hearing things. Oh, Kenny Omega, you gotta watch this guy, Kenny Omega, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and there was no AW, so there was no, and YouTube wasn't big, so like, being the elite wasn't really, like, you couldn't really find that much stuff about Kenny Omega. You just had to know when to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling or wherever he was at. I feel like that way with Sabu and RVD back in the day. It's like I've heard about the Sandman, I've seen him crush beer cans on his head. I've never seen a match. Like, I know the lore of Sandman, right? Until you
Mhm.
actually watch it. So I feel like that is like the only, I guess, that's not even the same because kids can just go on YouTube right now and just search whatever they want. We didn't have
Yeah,
that. So
right at their fingertips.
I'm glad to see Sabu for the limited time I could. Innovator of violence. He actually did. He is a trailblazer of hardcore matches. Like he really, really is. So good for him. I saw CM Punk do a tribute to him before he got into the ring before his promo. Did you catch that?
The
No. Sabu's little pose.
No, I didn't catch that.
It's all right. But they did a in memoriam before the show anyway. So Sabu will be missed, of course. And Chris, the final thing I want to touch on tonight, the final thing, literally the final thing. Are you going to be watching All In?
Am I going to be watching All In?
Yeah. Are you going to be watching All In?
Listen, I seriously haven't watched AEW in 2025.
There's
So
no way.
when is All In? Oh yeah, it's May, so it's coming up soon.
Coming up very soon, man. It looks like we're going to be getting some decent matches, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure, but I don't even know any. I could not tell you the first thing that's going on over there. I had to take a break. I needed a break from it. It was feeling stale and stagnant, as you know. I figured I would take a break. That way we could all talk some WWE. At some point, I'll jump back onto watching it, but I needed a break from it.
All right, fair enough. We had a big
So,
cage match on Wednesday night. It was John Moxley versus Samoa Joe. Big match. A referee made a mistake. They did a rope break inside of a cage match. So straight up AEW's Avenue.
There we go.
We're back, baby. No, looks like Tony Storm's on a collision two-face Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné lost one of her titles.
I did see that.
Yep. Mercedes Moné is doing that. Man,
Is
I
she still
feel
the same? Is she still pretty bad over there?
elite, like one of the best of all time. Yeah.
Listen, I can tell you in WWE she was one of the best, but since she left, it's bad.
Let me ask you: would you prefer watching Mercedes Moné or Charlotte Flair?
Oh man, that's tough.
Is it tough though? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Because either I get to watch nepotism in the ring or I watch someone who's just not good anymore.
Oh, come on. For reals?
What do we want to do at that point? That's when I just turn it off and I go find something else to do.
Laundry?
Sure.
Is Mercedes your laundry match?
Yes.
Oh boy. All right,
Listen,
man.
she was I'm telling you, she was one of the best. I loved watching her in WWE. I used to always just give you grief because I knew she was your favorite, but she was great in WWE. This AEW stuff where she's doing her own thing, it's just not good.
Well, Chris, then I guess my next follow-up question was, are you signed in for the $99.99 a month plan to text Mercedes Moné? Are you part of the fan club?
No, I will not. I will just live vicariously through you because I'm sure you have already signed up.
Brother.
Sent some text messages to what is, I'm sure, definitely her sitting there to respond.
Listen, I just want to let everyone know this, and then we're going to log off. I don't go to fast food chains much. Wendy's, McDonald's, Taco Bell. I'm not a big fast food guy. If I do though, I do go inside. And my kids hate that about me. I'm not a drive-through person. They mess everything up. I'm not going to turn into Joe Pesci and Lethal Weapon 2, but they F everything up in the drive-through, 1,000%. Let me tell you something. I've been going to the drive-through for the past couple weeks now. I got my kid a Happy Meal. I went to Wendy's today. They have AI taking your order now. They have AI. You just talking to the thing, and it's an AI. Did you know this? Does anyone know this?
It's the same if you go inside now. It's just a little thing. You put in your own order.
But what I'm saying is, like, you talk to a speaker, and it's AI.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the order right every time. Well, I'm 2 for 2. This McDonald's on 301 next to me, you know which one. They're 0 for infinity. They never get it right. They're 0 for.
I don't go to McDonald's, but I know which one you're talking about, but I don't go to McDonald's.
They're 0 for, buddy. So my point is, if an AI system at Wendy's can get my son of a Baconator, all the kids McFlurries or the Frosties, if they can get all that right, and you're paying and you trust it, and you're paying $99 a month to text Mercedes Moné, you're getting worked, brother. That's AI. That ain't even someone. That's not even a person. That's not even a real person texting you. That's not even her secretary, her assistant, her mom, her dog. That's AI, brother. So you're an idiot. Just wanted to put that out there. But
$100.
Ridiculous.
I forgot about that because I wanted to talk to you about. I'm so glad you brought that up. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the funniest thing. Listen. All I'm gonna say is this: if you have $100 to give her monthly, go for it. If that's what you want to do, right? If that's what you want to do. But I just want you to all know.
Don't support this nonsense.
No, I'm not going to support.
No, I'm saying to the listeners and the viewers, don't support that nonsense. That needs to be the biggest flop.
But if you are a member and you are getting text, I want to know. I want to know what you guys are talking about. I want to know what you're asking her. I want to know if there's a limit on how many texts you can have. I want to know if there's any pictures being sent, like, good morning, I got my Starbucks. I want to know what's going on. Is there a premium? Is there add-ons? There's always microtransactions and everything these days. Is it pay 99 cents for a emoji for her to send you an emoji?
Is it an emoji? Listen, this is probably going to work because if you think about it, how many times do we hear about people messaging fake accounts when they swear it's some celebrity that's talking to them? Yes. It happens all the time. You send them money. This is the same thing, but legitimate. You're actually sending that person your money this time, but you're still not talking to them.
Yes. And actually, if that is which I do believe is scam, then shame on Mercedes. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. To take advantage of your
Just
fans like that, it's.
sign up for 1 month and then try and text her while she's on the screen wrestling. See what happens.
Do you think she's smart enough to disable that? I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a good point, Chris. That's right. Anyone that did it while she's wrestling,
yeah,
text
do
her.
it while you're at the pay-per-view and you can see her live. I want you to text her and see if you get a response back while she's wrestling, because I'm sure you will.
We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that, Chris. But make sure you join us Saturday. We will be breaking down WCW 1998 Halloween Havoc. Me, Bobby Melendez, Ethan Sathers, I believe it is, from Fantasy. I'm a terrible person. I don't know his last name. But we'll be breaking down the WCW Halloween Havoc. We'll be getting Bobby's thoughts on Backlash since we haven't talked since then. And guys, I have to plug this out. Fantasy Now Plus has 8 shows ready to be debuted in the fall. We'll be fantasy football every single freaking day and twice on Wednesdays. So keep tuned for that here on the Finstock Sports Network. Chris, I need a host for Monday. I need a co-host. You ready? You want to be it? You want to be my co-host Monday morning?
For what? Monday morning? I'm at work.
9 a.m., baby. We're going live. So
I'm ripping my hair out at 9 a.m. Monday mornings.
Yeah, well, I'll be chilling here with some cold brew, giving you guys hot takes. So keep hitting that like button, that subscribe button. Chris, next week we'll be talking about what? What are we talking about? Is there anything big going on in wrestling this weekend? I hope not.
I don't know. Nothing this weekend? I don't think so.
No. Oh, are you going to Saturday Night Main Event?
I was just about to ask you that. I figured we'd talk after, but I don't know yet. I haven't looked with everything that's been going on. I haven't got a chance to look. Everything's kind of cooling off now. I figured I would check with you and see if you were going to any of those shows or not. I don't know. I'm sad that it's way up at the USF Sundome. I wish it was at Elmley instead of the USF Sundome, but
for the prices they are charging, it should be an Emily Arena. I'll just put it at that because the Sundome is not a good venue whatsoever. So, but we'll see. We are in Tampa, so we might be hitting up Saturday Night Main Event. We might be there live for Logan Paul and Jey Uso and this tag team match and whatever else they put on that show. But until next week, guys, we're going to get on out of here. Peace out. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. It really helps us out. Peace.